You know, people look on the outside. Your higher power, God, that's what looks on the inside. And people shouldn't judge you based on your appearance, but let's be real, they do. And you can't deal in should or shouldn'ts. You can only deal in realities. And the reality is that you look how you live, and how you are actually treating your body is honestly telling the world what is important to you. And so if you are going to do this self-sabotaging concept, if you're going to constantly just rid yourself of quality food, quality sleep, and actually handle your stress, then your body's going to showcase that. And you want to have the energy to actually do the things that you have the responsibility to do, but also the things that you enjoy doing. This is why when you tackle your nutrition, when you actually care about your training, when you care about your relationships, your sleep, and your stress, you really can have a much more fulfilled life. And it comes down to like building some really solid characteristics in yourself. It's building the discipline. It's building the awareness. It's building the impulse control that you probably do not have at this point. So what you want to do is you want to try and start slowly taking a step-by-step approach. Everywhere you go, everywhere you are ending up, you got to have some level of an intention. And the intention that you want to have is, what do I need to do today to actually put myself in a better position for tomorrow? Because your future is solely based on the habits that you either have today, and either they are good or they are bad. But if you actually instill good, solid habits every single day, now these don't need to be extremes, but if you have some routines in place, if you have some strategies to cope with some of your stress, then you're going to have a better outcome. The reason why people struggle so much is because they don't have strategies. And the strategies that they do have aren't good ones. They're sabotaging ones. If you're turning to food every time you're stressed, you're not going to feel very good. If you're turning to some negative vice that you might have, then you're just going to have a cheap dopamine hit that's going to end up in a bad result, and then you're going to be back to the start because you feel guilty. If you're going to constantly feel guilty for something, you're going to be in this spiral, and that spiral doesn't end well. So you got to start understanding that the more that you build awareness and intentionality as well, because at the end of the day, if you go into your days just aimlessly walking around doing whatever it is that you think you should do, then you're not living with intention. And everybody will come out here and be like, well, you got to show gratitude, you got to have some courage. But at the end of the day, if you don't have an intention, how can you be grateful? How can you have courage? How can you actually have any understanding or an idea behind what it is that you should be aiming for? So what you have to focus on is just looking at what areas of your life do you want to improve upon. Is it your health? Is it your relationships? Is it your stress? Is it your sleep? Every single thing has a solution to it. Now, you can either go for the short-term stuff and the quick fixes, or you can go for full solutions. That's how it should be. It should be a full solution. So if you have a weak mentality, the best thing that you can do is strengthen it. You're going to strengthen it by reading a book, then reread that book, and then apply whatever it is in that book to your life. Don't just read something and take no action. Or if you're going to listen to these podcasts that you have, or these people that you follow, if you're going to listen to them, then apply what it is that they say. If it's me, if it's someone else, it doesn't necessarily matter, but apply it. Actually take action towards it, because there are a lot of people that know a lot of stuff, but they do nothing with it. That is a huge concern, because at the end of the day, you're going to be known as that person that talks a lot and acts very little. And if you're one of those people, then your results are always going to showcase that. So you don't necessarily need to say much, because it's kind of written all over your body and all over your character. And your character really is like the sum of all the habits that you either have and they're good, or you have and they're bad. So you got to kind of like take a step back. Look at where your weaknesses lie, and then start to actually tackle them. But one by one, you don't need to go all in on everything, because that's how you're going to get overwhelmed. And if you're overwhelmed, you're not going to know where to start. You're not going to even really know what to do. So first, you're going to pinpoint your weakness, and then you want to understand what is the what for you. So what do you want to improve? And then ask yourself, why do I want to improve it? When you have the what and the why, then the how is going to show up. Whether it is a program, a person, a place, it doesn't matter. A pathway will present itself for you so that you know what to do from there on out. And I think so many people just kind of want to jump to the how. Well, you don't even know the what. You don't even know the why. When you don't have these, you're probably going to not even follow through on the how, because your why is not strong enough. People say this all the time. If your why is not strong enough, you're not going to follow through. So whatever it is that you take from here, just take a step back, write down some of the things that you are weak at, whether it is in your fitness, your physicality, maybe it's in your discipline, maybe it's in your mentality, maybe it's in your emotional capacity. Whatever it is that you're weak at, pinpoint it. Then ask yourself, what is it that I want to improve upon? Then ask yourself why, and the how will show up, okay? You just got to trust that. And a lot of people don't trust a process, or they're skeptical, or they don't know if it's going to work, but just trust the process. Be in it long enough to see some results. And when you're in it for a good amount of time and you're not getting results, then you know you're not on the right path. But at least you're learning. At least you're actually getting some insight. You're getting some data to actually tell you, well, this isn't working, so now I've got to go this direction. It's going to be a game changer for you. But you always want to actually focus on improving the way that you are. You want to improve the external. Even though you may not like the fact that people judge from the external and the appearance, then just guess what? It doesn't matter whether or not you like it. People do it. It's just a reality, okay? But you want to work on the inside for yourself, for your higher power. You want to do this because at the end of the day, that's what's going to create more intention. That's also what's going to create way more meaning in your life. So don't worry about should or shouldn'ts. Worry solely on what you're doing for yourself to enhance yourself, and then go and apply that to the reality that you live in, okay? Because at the end of the day, everything you want is on the other side of fear. So make a move, take an action, because you are one decision away from a completely different life.